Good morning, everybody. So today we are looking at our DJI Phantom 4 specs list. Yes, that's right. The last video we made was of the actual Phantom 4, and looking at the drone itself, we are now looking at the specs of the drone and what you can expect from it if you get yourself one of these. This right here is the specs list. So if you didn't see that, if you missed that, you just type in Phantom 4 specs and you go for support for DJI Phantom 4. You can also find other places like Full Compass if you actually wanted to have a document for you to print, okay? What I would do is have both of these open. So go to this one over here. This is the list from DJI, but it's not its own document. So you would have to snip it, okay? You'd have to do a screenshot. Whereas this one, firstly, this seems to have a lot more information for us, which is exactly what we need. DJI used to have a document like this, but not anymore. Now it's just on their website for this drone. So when it comes to weight, the drone is very lightweight. It makes it a class 1A or 1B drone. Essentially, these drones are the kind of drones that you can fly for training, you can fly as a beginner, and you can also fly for most of your missions. Then we move on to the diagonal size of the drone. It's 350 millimeters. So again, it's not a very big drone. It's easy to transport, it's easy to get around, and the size also allows it to get through tight places in the sky. We've then got your ascent to descent speed. So it's very important to note that they stay on S mode. So this is sport mode, meaning this is the fastest flight mode you have. So you have GPS lock, where it will hover nicely. You have sport mode, which is GPS but much faster. And then you have A mode or ATI mode, and that's where it's going to blow with the wind. So you have to control it a little bit more. But in this case, in sport mode, you can see that ascent speed and descent speed are pretty decent, in fact. And max speed overall is 20 meters a second. Now, this is a fast drone. It actually really is. Like, you don't think it is, but when you fly it, you really feel it. Then you've got your max pitch angle. So pitch angle is if you go forward and up at the same time. So in sport mode, you'll reach 42 degrees. ATI mode is 35 degrees. P mode is positioning mode. That's GPS lock, and that is only 15 degrees. So you can see that the GPS mode of this drone, it does limit you quite a bit in speed and things like that, but it provides stability overall. If we move on to max service ceiling above sea level, anywhere in the world basically it should be able to fly, except at maybe like the top of Everest or something like that. Max wind speed resistance, this is what the drone specs say. I've seen this thing fly in pretty bad wind, okay, worse wind than this. That's the whole point of P mode. It might limit you, as we can see there. The whole point of that is for the stability that will allow you to fly in 10 plus gusts of wind. Okay, your max flight time, this is if you had a battery that was just flying all the way until the end, you would get 28 minutes on your drone. Remember that our batteries, we need a 10% reserve, and even beyond that, we're actually supposed to land at 20% because of the 80-20 rule. You're looking at about 15 to 20 minutes per battery. Your operating temperature range, this is important, but this is more important for the battery. The Phantom 4, I'm actually not too sure about what the temperatures are for the battery, but I do know that with the Phantoms, they do like to be a certain temperature. However, don't worry about it too much, because if you slide your battery into the drone, you turn the drone on, but you don't start it up, the battery will start heating up on the inside automatically. This, though, may be talking about the drone itself, and you might need to be aware about if it's going to overheat or something like that. If it does overheat, I have seen these drones do that. It's not a big deal. They start beeping and then they just start coming for a land. Positioning systems that the drone uses is GPS and GLONASS. This drone connects to both of these for intense accuracy, and that's why you have your hover accuracy range of this much. With the GPS positioning, you've got a 1.5 meter, but that's it. Essentially what it's saying is when it is in those terrible winds, it might just move around like this, but you know, between a distance of 1.5 meters. Now, I'm not going to go through this one here as well, but I am going to leave a link to this, okay? So, or download or whatever it is, okay? Whatever I can do on a YouTube channel or a YouTube video, I'm going to do that. So just check the description below for all the links. But again, you can come back here just to check that they were all accurate. But what that wasn't covered in the Phantom 4 on the DJI is covered here. So you see you've got your obstacle sensing system. So this is now telling us, oh, okay, so if we wanted to know how far away you can be before it starts sensing things, okay, you can see it's 49 feet. and you can see that at 2 feet is where it wants to stop. That is the power of our fail-safes, those cameras that run around the drone. If you want to move on to your camera, I'm not going to go through all the specs here, but you definitely can see, for anyone who is a photo nerd and a video geek, this is the camera, and this does a really decent job. Okay, you can see you can get your HDs, 1280, you can get FHDs, 1920, all the way up to 120 pixels. You've also got shutter speeds for your photo geeks, shutter speeds and max image size, things like this. You've also got burst shoots if that's what you wanted, and a whole bunch of other fun things. And it will support a micro SD, so you don't have to worry about your storage space. App and live view. So the app is DJI Go. You're going to have to download an app on your phone or tablet before you can connect it to your drone. If we move on to the gimbal, you've got a controllable range, -90 up to 30 degrees. Okay, so that means it can look straight down and then come up and up and up, and look up to the point of 30 degrees up from 0. Stabilization, it has a 3-axis stabilization. That means pitch, roll, and yaw. What that essentially means is that it's able to maintain accuracy without going up, without going to the side, and without changing direction. If we move to the vision positioning system, those cameras that are underneath the drone, that is for your positioning. Okay, so that's looking at the ground to see what's going on. It's not there to avoid obstacles, because you need to land, so it would then be avoiding that land. Okay, those cameras underneath of this here, your vision positioning, and it's literally just seeing where it is. Okay, most specifically, it sees where it takes off, so that it can do a more accurate return to home. Then your remote control. The remote control works on 2.4 up to 2.483 on operating frequency, meaning the radio signal, and your max transmission distance is 5 kilometers. This thing can fly really quite far from you, considering that we in drones, at least in this country, but in most countries, the regulations are 500 meters. At 500 meters, some students of mine can't even see the drone anymore. In reality, the 5 kilometers is a fun dream, but you'd only achieve it in very specific environments. Normally this here, the CE compliant one, would be a lot more accurate to look at. Why is it more accurate to look at? Just because it's much more likely to occur. Because remember, there are many other signals. There's data signals, satellite signals, there's also Wi-Fi signals. So that's going to obstruct any radio signal that has to fly through these things. Beyond that, if you're flying between trees and stuff, obstacles for us and the drone are also obstacles for radio links, for that radio wave to reach. Remember, if there's a tree, it's not going to hit the tree and go through the tree. And remember, this is saying unobstructed, free of interference. Free of interference means no signals, and unobstructed means no obstacles in its path. Operating temperature. So this remote control can operate in a whole bunch of temperatures as well. Okay, this is Fahrenheit, which means 0 to 40 degrees Celsius. Okay, your battery, you're looking at a 6000 mAh LiPo battery that fits inside this remote control, but luckily you don't have to take it out and put it on charge. You just put the remote control on charge. If you just want to know about the transmitter power, in other words, how hard can this thing really transmit, or how loud can it speak? Okay, you're looking at 23 decibels on FCC, 17 decibels on CE. Anybody who wants to know what this FCC versus CE is, essentially it's a range that you're allowed for your radio connections, your radio signals. FCC is the range that's allowed in the US and some other countries, and it's your big, huge range. So they allow radio signals that with waves that essentially do this through the sky. Versus CE, which would be the UK and then us as well, you have radio waves that take up a lot less space. Therefore, they can't travel as far. Anyone who wants to know about voltage, anyone who's into the electric side of things, there's your voltage for your remote control. Finally, we move on to the Intelligent Flight battery. The capacity is 5350 mega ampere hours. The voltage is 15.2 volts. Battery type is the LiPo 4S. This is a lithium ion polymer. It's not just the LiPo battery. However, the LiPo lithium polymer side of this battery is the more dangerous side of the battery. So they sum it up as a LiPo battery. And of course, you got your energy, your net weight of the battery. So you would add that to the drone weight to know how much overall weight you might have, as well as your payload. If you have more than just the camera, you're also going to have to take that weight into consideration. And temperature, again, your battery will operate in any sort of temperature. So it looks like your Phantom 4 battery will operate in a lot better temperature range than the Phantom 3's. And your max charging power is 100 watts. So you can shoot 100 watts into this thing through charge at any given point in time. So that is a list of the Phantom 4 specs. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see you. Oh, by the way, guys, links in description. So if you want to get this drone, if you have settled now, you have enough research, and you want this drone, please bear in mind it has been discontinued by DJI. You can't get them. You can get them new, like that's the links. That's why I'm giving you links. But you can also get it secondhand on different places like Facebook and stuff if you really want to go and have a look. I've been going on about the pros of this model. The one con is that as time goes by, as it gets older, it gets a lot worse at this. Specifically, the stability doesn't get very nice anymore. And the control, it feels a little bit like it gets a little out of hand. If you want to know about time span, I'd say maybe 4 years, okay? You could even go 4 to 8 years. I've seen the Phantom 3s fly for forever and ever, but they did get worse and worse after every service. So you just need to make sure that your service that you're doing is worthwhile for your drone, and you should be able to live with your drone for a long time. Cool, guys. Links in description, affiliate links, links to other channels, links to my courses as well. I'm a drone instructor by trade, so if you want to go and check out some courses there. And I will be giving courses away for free over time as well, just because, okay? So I think I'm going to start this channel with free courses to give away. So if you guys have been watching these videos, go ahead and check links and stuff like this. Maybe check the beginning of the channel. I think I will have released a video that is literally where I'm saying, hey, free courses, here are the links, so go and check it out.